we talked about like the striving to be productive sort of element of it. And then you're a very productive person. Did you feel like pressured to be like a good representation, or like pressure to do a lot of work, or was it more of like, no, I have to do this activism, or like, do you know, it's such a funny, weird, like backwards thing that I don't know. It's hard to untangle.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of push-pull, right? Like there's a lot of tensions going on. I really wish that, I had choices in terms of not being an activist, because I feel like, as a child who was born disabled, like I knew I was in a not disabled world, and that's, I really had to first advocate for myself, and then later on, like, realize, oh my gosh, like there's so much that we need to do, systemically. That's not just about my own well-being and getting what I need, but it's about this whole community that's been fighting these good fights. My idea of justice and liberation one day is the fact that people don't have to fight so hard, right? Like that is the dream, that like future kids with any sort of mental illness, any sort of disability, chronic illness, don't ever have to fight for what they need. And they just be who they want to be.
Right.
And, right now, I think, I personally don't want to be held up as some sort of role model,
right,
or example, because I think that's also very dangerous, right? Like, because I am in no way perfect, and I really don't like this kind of expectation. Like, if you're an activist, you have to be like perfect, or you have to be like use all the right words, do all the right things. But I don't believe in that. Like, I believe that there has to be space for messiness, for mistakes, for accountability. And I think for me, I try to really resist the pressure to be on all the time, the pressure to be productive, as you said. But I will say that, for me personally this year, I felt such urgency, because there's nothing like a deathly pandemic to really light a fire under your ass. I was really just, I still am legit, like, scared. Like, this is just something that just, like, I know that even though this vaccine is, coming and just going to be distributed eventually, I still know that if I get this virus, it pretty much will be deathly for me. So it's really kind of been great in terms of clarifying what's important. So, like, I have been pretty focused and very much about, like, doing what I want to do. So I think, while I do believe in self-care and slowing down, I do think it's also been great in just kind of giving me license to let go of all the other things that I don't want to do. And, just say, like, what do I want to say? What do I want to do in the time that I have? And I think that's something that could be really useful for all of us as we eventually come out of this pandemic. Really clarifying, like, what do I give a shit about? Who do I really love? Who do I care about? The friendships have been, my friendships have really kept me alive, I think. And I think that's what's really wonderful too, is that this pandemic has also shown me who's really there for you. That's been one of the really beautiful things to come out, that you know who your people are. And that's really lovely. And I hope it's something that we all really take to heart.
Just between